Greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of Cyber Law and Ethics. My name is Mohammad Rahmat Ali. So, in today's session, we're going to learn about the continuation part, what we have studied in the you can say the previous session. How to protect yourself against web threats. Okay. Uh, in that class, we studied about what are the basic things that we need to take into consideration while we are accessing cyber world or while we are accessing the web. Also, what are the different things that is been required to safeguard yourself from being breached or attacked by someone. Also, we have seen what are the mistakes that we can make during the web what do you call as browsing. Either it can be with reference to technical things or it can be with reference to the human tendency errors. It can be reflecting or it can be anything either among those two things. Also, we have studied like what are the different mechanisms by which we can protect ourselves through the web threats. We will continue the same and we'll study the further part. Now, the general tips to follow for both end users and web service providers include, the first one is with reference to always create backups. See, with reference to accessing the web or with reference to browsing the internet or with reference to securing ourselves, the first and the foremost thing that every of the IT people or the people studying computer science or IT is the backup. For every thing that you are doing, you should have a backup. That's only the reason we as a department of computer science or department of IT are different from others. Other people won't have the kind of backup that we have, the backup that we create for ourselves in different things. That is the reason we are ahead of different departments. Also, that is only the reason many of the people rely on IT technology. The reason is with reference to the backups. Backups play a very prominent role in any of the case. Now, these backups can be local backups, these backups can be a cloud backup, this backup can be stored on an external machine, and these backups can be taken on any of the internal devices or on external devices also. So what it says, always create backups. All valuable data should be copied and stored safely to prevent data losses in case of an incident. Now, what do you mean by this backup? Backup doesn't mean anything like we will be having some extra thing. What are the things that you are creating, writing, editing, updating, that should be made a copy with the previous copy. That's also very important. For example, if at all if you have studied with reference to DBMS, there used to be safe points. There used to be safe point, and there was something called as rollback and commit. Safe points are the different backups that we have taken on different days. If at all if you observe your WhatsApp, daily at some time, whatever the time that you have set, a backup will be created. A local backup will be created on your local machine. That local backup you can upload it on Google Drive or you can keep it only on your local system or local device. Now, this is the importance of creating a backup. Whenever a cyber threat or whenever a breach happens or whenever someone has intruded into your system, then at that instance these backups will help you to recover the data. Though all of the data will not be recovered, but maximum to the extent that we know, we can recover the data. Also, with reference to your WhatsApp, if at all if you see the last backup that you have taken, if at all if you have lost your mobile phone, that will help you, that particular what you call as backup will help you recover all of the chats and media to which the last backup was being taken. Now further it says website, device drives and even web servers can be backed up. Like I've already told you, anything can be backed up. If at all something misfortune happens or something uneven happens, then you would have a chance that you can recover or retrieve that particular data. So next point is enable multi-factor authentication. This is a very common thing that we commonly use in our mail servers. with reference to two-factor authentication, with reference to biometric, with reference to iris, with reference to a unique password along with the combination. It can be anything which has two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication will protect your data. For an example, it is a general good practice to have different passwords for different things. Majority of the time we keep only one password for every of the account. If at all the hacker knows, or if the person who is tracing your system knows that this is the password that you are using, then he can try all of the possible accounts to retrieve that particular data with that given password. So to multi-factor authentication, it can be anything. For instance, I'll tell you, if you are coming from a bank, taking a new debit card or a credit card, and it has got two-factor authentication, in the sense, when you enter the pin code, the moment you enter the pin code, that card will be activated. But unfortunately, you have forgotten that particular card and mobile phone in the taxi. Now at this instance, that particular taxi driver, if at all he has a bad intention, can activate your particular debit card or credit card along with the mobile phone OTP. Why? Because he has got the card also, he has got the mobile phone also. He can activate that particular card and he can misuse that particular card. Now at this instance, if at all, along with the OTP that you are generating, a fingerprint scan or iris scan is been done to activate the account, then this will be a difficult task for that particular person to activate that particular card. So this is the main reason why two-factor authentication is being used. Also, with reference to the modern two-factor authentication that we are using, like for example with reference to a Gmail, Yahoo or Rediff, it can be anything. At that particular instance, the chances of you getting breached is very much higher. Why? Because see, the first method is that you enter the password, and the second method is, the second factor is, you will be getting an OTP. What if your mobile phone is only been under surveillance, or it is been trapped, or it is been breached? The moment you enter your password, the keylogger will take the password, and the moment you receive that particular one-time password, the hacker will enter the password before you enter the password. Why? Because he has got the access to your local device, to your local system. So what will happen? He will get the access to the the account. So in this particular thing, you can also activate with reference to the biometric, also with reference to the iris scan. This will help you a lot with reference to safeguarding your account or web services, or you can say web browsing. Okay, you can be safeguarded from web threats. The next one is, we'll read whatever it is written over here. MFA, multi-factor authentication, allows for additional layer of user authentication on top of traditional passwords. Organizations should enable this protection for users, while end users should be sure to make use of it. Okay, like we have understood everything. Next one is with reference to the scan for malware. This is also very, very important. If at all, if you download any of the file from the internet, it will say this particular file is cannot be scanned for the virus. When you download it from the Google Drive, or it can be anything, if at all the size is very large, then this particular thing will be coming. Or else, if at all, if you are downloading any of the file from the Gmail, there will be a scan for malware, then the file will be downloaded. So you should have, at the first instance, you should have a secure and safe as antivirus, and it should be genuine one, not the pirated one. Okay, the moment you install the pirated antivirus, along with that only the virus will come. It is better not to install a pirated virus. Why? Because it comes along with the virus. Okay, either install a genuine antivirus or don't install the antivirus. Okay, now the next one is with reference to the keep all tools, software and OS up to date. Now we'll read whatever with reference to scan for malware. Scan for malware says a regular scan for infection will keep your computer device secure. Personal device can be covered through an antivirus solution like Kaspersky Total Security. I recommend everyone to install this particular antivirus. This is the best of the antivirus at present now. Like the first one is with reference to Kaspersky Total Security. The second one is with reference to this what we call as Quick Whale antivirus. These two antivirus are the most used and most reliable antiviruses. The first one is like Kaspersky Total Security, and the second one is Quick Whale antivirus. Okay, Total Security. Like in this Kaspersky also you will be getting internet security, but don't go for internet security, go for total security. It will cover every of the aspect, and you can purchase it according to your requirement, like 1 user 3 years, 3 users 1 year. It depends upon you. So further it says enterprise endpoint machine and computer network should be or should use this protection as well, like obviously with reference to firewalls and with reference to the antivirus that we are having. Next one is with reference to keep all two software and OS up to date. This is the common thing, and at this point of time I need to tell you, if at all if you are having a genuine antivirus, genuine operating system, genuine software, then only you should update it. Then only you should update it. I repeat, if at all if you have a genuine operating system, genuine software or genuine antivirus, then only you should update it, or else don't go for updation. Why? Because it will create unnecessary nuisance for you and for the system. The reason is like when you are updating it, some of the bugs or some of the bots or some of the viruses will come into your system, which will make your system to either slow down or it will create new viruses with reference to your local system, with reference to recycler, with reference to what do you call as new folder virus, or with reference to duplication of your file. It can be anything. Now it says computer systems are vulnerable when they have been unpatched against undiscovered holes in their programming. Software developer regularly probes for weaknesses and issue updates for this purpose. Protect yourself by downloading these updates. Okay, now next one is with reference to service providers like website owners and server operators are where true comprehensive security starts. These parties will need to take precautions for better protection. They can do this by, the first one is with reference to monitoring web traffic. Now see, I'll tell you just to what do you call as just to update yourself. These internet service providers from where you are taking internet, they monitor your traffic. They see what are the website that you are using mostly. So what they will do to what do you call as to speed up their services, they will keep a packet, local packet at their own system, so that when you are requesting for that particular services, they can provide it from the local one. Also, at some of the instance, you might not be able to use some of the websites through some of the internet providers. For an example, if at all if you are using BSNL website, or what you call BSNL internet, not website, BSNL internet, then you will not be able to access the website called as Zedge, from where you can download ringtones, wallpapers, what do you call it, other things. You cannot access that particular website. But if at all if you are using it from another service provider like ACT or another local provider, then you might be able to use that Zedge website. Why? Because some of the internet service provider will block some of their websites. In the same way, there was a decrease in the services, to services, when some of the what do you call as websites were being blocked. Some of the unsocietal websites were blocked from one of the service provider. The people who has availed that particular service has dropped down from that particular services. Why? Because they were not able to access those particular websites. So they have cut down their connection from that particular internet service provider, and they have switched it to another service provider. Okay, So it depends on the internet service provider also, from which of the website you can access and which of the website you cannot access. So what they will do, they will monitor all of your web traffic. They will monitor all of your web traffic. And the second one is with reference to implementing firewalls. Implementing, like, monitoring web traffic to gauge normal volumes and patterns. This I have told you. The next one is with reference to implementing firewalls to filter and restrict unpermitted web connection. This is the thing that I have told you. Why? Because it's like it's their own policy not to provide these particular services, not to provide these particular things. If at all, if you go for any of the cyber cafe also, you might not be able to access some of the website. Why? Because that particular cyber cafe person has blocked this particular website from that local system on which you are sitting. And also those cyber cafe people will monitor all of the website that you are accessing, and they can at any instance drop the connection from your system to that particular website. Okay, next one is with reference to network infrastructure distribution. So it says to decentralize data services, this include aspects like backups for various resources and geo server rotation. Okay, now what do you mean by this geo server rotation? In the sense, like like I also told you in the previous sessions also, if at all if you have made an email ID in India, Gmail ID, and you went to US, UK or Australia, anywhere, then from there you are able, you want to access your email address. For that, at that instance, they will ask you some of the security questions. Now, as your data is in Indian server from Hyderabad, those data or that particular data need to be transferred from Hyderabad or India server to Australia, UK or US server, so that you might be able to access that particular email address. So that is been said over here. The next one is with reference to internal probing to investigate for unpatched vulnerabilities. This might, for example, involve self-attacking with SQL injections attack hosts. Okay. Next one is with reference to proper security configuration for access rights and session management. These are the things that was being important for to understand. The next one is with reference to users should protect themselves by doing the following. The first one is with reference to scan downloads for malware. This is a general practice that you should do. The second one is with reference to vet links before clicking. Only clicking links if you are positive the destination is safe and trusted. The third one is with reference to make strong secure password, avoid duplicates, use a secure password manager to help manage all of your accounts and password. And see, some of the people will not let their laptop, PC or mobile phone to be given to others. Why? Because they have saved every of the things in their password manager. They know, like, as soon as they click on that particular application, the password manager will automatically give that particular password to that person. So that only the reason they will not allow that local system, local password or local devices to be accessed. Okay. The next one is with reference to the throttle login attempt by triggering account lockdown after a limited number of tries. The last one is with reference to look out for phishing red flags in text, emails and other communication. Next one is with reference to social media marketing that we have studied in the previous session. Okay. Just we'll have a glance what is being given in this particular slide. Data shared irresponsibly over social media always invites trouble and might also grab the attention of hackers. It can also lead to a situation where social media accounts are hijacked to spread malicious posts or fraudulent and embarrassing information that can spoil your online reputation. Okay. Second or third point is, so it is better to establish a predetermined security policy for your social media activity, like using strong passwords, preventing spam, blocking phishing scam, and avoiding suspicious add-ons, apps that may disrupt malware. Okay. Last one is with reference to, on an additional note, giving social media access to trusted employees and educating them on how to lessen risk and act responsible while help in keeping the social media marketing campaign safe from cyber threats. Now, at this point of time, what are the things that you share on your social media is a proof against you, not for you, but it's a proof against you. What are the things that you do on your social media is a proof against you. Like with reference to the recent digital world in which we are living, with reference to the case of CCTV monitoring, with reference to case of monitoring the photographs, with reference to the data return in it, which we call it as technography, is all of the things we have been shared on social media. So whenever you are accessing any of the social media content, beware whether that particular person from whom you are taking that information is safe, secure, and reliable. Okay, I think you understood something from today's session. We have come across like at the end of the unit 4, and we have concluded unit 4 at this point of time. If at all you have any doubt with reference to today's session, please ping me at rahmat_ali to you at yahoo.com. We will start our 5th unit in the next session. Until then, see you, take care, see you in the next session. Thank you.